What's good? We're back in this thing, and in today's video I want to go ahead and show you the absolute best way you can make extra money as a music video editor and director. Like, for real, if you're not doing this method right now, you're actually missing out on so much extra money, and it's really not that much extra work. So if you're interested in any of that, go ahead, sit back, click like, drop a comment, and stick around for the rest of the video. And what I'm talking about here is the Spotify canvases. It was only available to specific artists for the longest time, but now Canvas is available to all artists. So any artist that uploads any music to Spotify now has this option to have these videos playing. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is what a Spotify canvas is. If you use Spotify, you've probably seen it before. It's these videos that play on the app when you're listening to music. If you go to full screen, you can see there's so many different options. And I've noticed that a lot of these smaller artists that are trying to grow and stuff don't actually have these videos. And when you go to pitch this to artists, you can hit them up in the Instagram DMs. I would try to find some artists that if you haven't already worked with them, kind of growing, not too big, that don't have these, pitch them with it. It literally says on the website here, it says, get noticed, hook people, get them listening. When listeners see a canvas, they're more likely to keep streaming, 5% on average versus control group. So they give you data here. It says, share the track is up 145%. Added their playlist is up 20%. Save the track is up 1.4%. And visit the profile page is 9. Like, those numbers are serious. So if you're an artist and you're trying to grow, you definitely need these Spotify canvases. And that's how you'd pitch it to them. You can even send them this website to show them ideas of what their stuff could be. You can see on the website, they have these 3D graphics. So if you're good at 3D, you can do some 3D stuff and, just something really simple like that. I'm sure if you're good at 3D, it wouldn't take too long to design something like this and just have it spin throughout the whole video. These ones are a little bit more in depth. There's just so much. The 2D graphics, so if you're good at 2D, this just looks like an image of her and it's just moving. So that's pretty simple. There's a bunch of different stuff you can do. I would just go ahead, go on Spotify, find some of your favorite artists. I know Black Bear has some crazy 3D ones. But yeah, your favorite artists will have these on their Spotify. You can get some inspiration. You can see Ian Dior here. It's a pretty clean one, nothing too crazy. This probably took like all of 30 minutes to make. I have a tutorial on an effect like this. You could do this. I actually did this in my example. I'll show you here in a second. But there's so much different things you can do. That's the mixed media section. And then here's the video one. If you just have a clean video, all you have to do is just play some clips for the music video. It's not that hard. It's pretty simple. And I would honestly say you can charge artists easily a few $100 just for this extra video. That's going to take you maybe 30 to 2 hours or something to make. I think I did mine in roughly 45 to an hour. I'll go ahead and show you that real quick. So if I go ahead and play this, you can see the clip that I have. It's from the Dry Boy music video editing contest. It's pretty quick and it's just going to loop like that. So if you wanted to see how it actually play, and this is how it actually would play on the Spotify app itself. It would just, once it's done, just loop back. It's pretty quick. It's really simple. Honestly, I just took some of the footage from the music video editing contest, which it is still going on right now. It's open till the 26th, I believe. I'll have the video linked down below. So if you're interested in competing in the contest, it's a good way to get the official music video on my channel. There's a $1,000 prize pool, and it's just a good way to practice editing a music video. So if you're interested in that, I'll have the contest linked down below. And if you just wanted footage to practice on, you could, for the Spotify canvases, you could also download it for that. And then back on the website, you can see that if you share this, it says here, if you share it onto your Instagram story, it actually plays the canvas itself. So you've probably seen that before. When someone shares a song to their Instagram story, it will play the actual video. So it's definitely more engaging. And when you go ahead and share it on social media, it'll get a bigger outreach. And then it also says change it up so you can actually upload multiple different canvases throughout the course of the song. You don't just have one specific one for the canvas. So you can even pitch them on that. You could have a release day and then 2 other canvases down the road. And then moving on, I'll just show you some of the things that they recommend. I'll have the website link down below too if you're interested. So basically what they're saying here is just find some good clips and don't have them mouthing the words too much because it's not going to be synced up with the video. The audio isn't, just because it loops. It's like a 3 to 8 second clip is what it recommends. I think that's the shortest you can do is 3 and the longest you can do is 8. So keep that in mind. And then they basically just say, make sure it's your own stuff. Don't take copyright stuff and put it in. And then here is the dimensions. It says 9:16 ratio. So it's actually the opposite of a normal horizontal YouTube video. So instead of 1920 by 1080, it'd be 1080 by 1920. That's what I'm going to do at least. And then the only ways you can export it is an MP4 and JPEG. And then it just shows here that it's going to be different for every phone. So some of these edges or whatever might be cut off for your video in different phones or whatever. So just keep that in mind. I just like to have video playing all over so it just fits no matter what. So then I would just recommend not adding any extra text or anything really that you need to see. Just to kind of have it you can see it's a safe area here. And if, for example, my video is playing, you'd be able to see pretty much what you need to see the whole entire time, right? So before we go ahead and just break down the effects, You can find these artists either through Instagram, or you can go on Spotify and then find them on Instagram and just reach out to them, send them a DM, say, hey, I noticed you didn't have Spotify Canvas, show them all the info on how it can grow their Spotify and help them grow as an artist, and then, give them a price or whatever. Like I said, you could easily charge them a few $100. And if you are shooting a music video for someone, you can just add that on. That's why all these different things that you can add on, it's like there's such a business aspect to doing music videos that people don't really understand. I feel like a lot of times, charging them extra for album covers, Spotify Canvas, behind the scenes, photos, all these different things can really add on, and you can sell them as a package when you're shooting music videos to really create that extra revenue coming in just from one music video. If you guys want more business videos on like stuff like this in the music video editing and directing scene, let me know in the comments, because I think it is really, really important. So many people just don't really understand it right off the bat. I don't blame them, because a lot of people that start music videos are creatives and they're not really business focused. So it does make sense why people aren't, super dialed in on that business side yet, but it's so, so important. Like also, I posted an example of what I did on my Instagram story, right? The Spotify Canvas that I did, just showing that I was going to do a tutorial on this. And I already had artists flying into my DMs being like, how much do you charge for, that or whatever. So it might be a good idea to make an example one and then kind of send it to artists and be like, I can do this for you for this amount of money, blah, blah, blah. Or I can include it in my music video shoot, all that stuff. You guys get the idea. Let's go ahead and break down the effects I did on the video itself. So going into the effects themselves, I tried to keep it really simple. I use some assets to save me time. The name of the game when you're doing stuff like this and editing is getting these assets that are going to save you time, because it's so important. I did this whole thing in maybe 45 to an hour. And if you charge someone a few $100, it's time well spent. So investing in some of these assets are really going to level up your game. So here I'm going to go through and kind of show you some of the visual effects that I did. Basically, this is just a fisheye shot. I added some colors to it just to make it look a little bit more stylized. I like that green tint to it. And then I just added Sapphire Shake. And since this is a high energy song, this was a tripod shot. I just wanted a little bit of movement. And I did this throughout the whole entire canvas. I turned off all the X shake. I left the Y shake on default, turned off the Z shake and the tilt shake off as well. I turned on motion blur and turned the frequency up to 15 and the amplitude. That way, when you play that, you can see it shakes up and down, just creating a little bit more energy. You can see if I go ahead and turn that off, it's still cool, but it just loses that energy. I personally think, since this is a rage song, if you guys have heard the song, I'll go ahead and play a second of it just so you can understand the energy. She say that she love me, how she be on my dick. Like I said, it is the song for the contest. So if you're interested in hearing the song, editing to the song, all that stuff, I'll have that link down below. So I used a few overlays just to make this grain kind of look. It adds a little bit of texture, and I try to make it not that noticeable just to kind of make it pop a little bit more. And this film texture is from Cinepacks. If you're interested in snagging anything from Cinepacks, you can use my code Bryan5 at checkout. I'll have their website linked down below. Then pretty much what I did here is I just took these photos that I had from the shoot and played them 2 frames at a time. You can see if I go in here and stacked them upwards, so you can see that it's playing 3 times. And then I took these edges that are also from Cinepacks. You can barely even see what they're doing here, but it's like these like roughened edges for like a film look. I put that texture that I had on, and then on that adjustment layer, I just have a little bit of color correction just to make it stand out a little bit more. And then I slapped RSMB on a nested sequence with all those photos. That way it kind of just adds a little bit more extra movement in the motion. And then same thing here, it's the performance shot with a fisheye, that Sapphire Shake, and a little bit of colors, as well as a texture playing. I basically had the texture playing throughout the whole entire thing. And then this one right here is so fire, actually. I kind of accidentally made this look, but I just think it fit the visualizer so well. Basically what it is it's just 3 photos that I took, lined up exactly how we did before. And then on this adjustment layer, all I did was I slapped on one of my thermal presets for my thermal pack. Like, these assets that I'm adding into this video are just saving so much time when it comes to doing stuff like this, because it gives you so many different options. In my thermal pack, I have 25 different presets with over 100 different looks. You can see just in this one preset itself, I can go ahead and make 3 different looks. I'm personally a fan of how this one looks. Just when I slapped it on, I saw that it looked the best. Adding on the thermal preset and then turning it to lighten, I nested that sequence. And then actually after that, I put on RSMB, and also I put on my CRT preset. That way it gives it that TV like visual synth look. I think it looks really crazy. I really like the way this came out. And then over here is that motion tile thing I was talking about. So you can see we just have this clip of the city playing. I thought it was cool by itself, but if you repeat it with these film edges and just have this motion tile playing, I have a tutorial on something really similar to this. I'll go ahead and open up my After Effects project file just so I can show you what I did. But basically I took this clip of the city here, put that that edges overlay that I was talking about from Cinepacks. On top of it, I added a little bit of that sapphire shake to the overlay as well, just so it's, because this is actually a PNG, so I just wanted to shake a little bit, and then played the clip. I think I slowed it down to 80% and then exported that, brought it into After Effects itself. And then all I really did on After Effects is added motion tile. So if you're not familiar with motion tile, basically just duplicates the clip over and over again. So I did output width 500, output height 500. I keyframed the scale, and I also keyframed the phase in the motion tile. So you can see on the left hand side, if you're looking really closely, you can see that it kind of moves up. Those duplications move up. I made it really slight, and then I also added that sapphire shake that I was adding on through the whole thing, just so it has a little bit more movement while it's zooming in, and you can see that's how this looks. I just wanted to, like, when you're doing this, like a visualizer, you just want some like interesting stuff to look at. It doesn't, like, you don't really have to even understand what's going on here. Obviously you can see that it's a city. It's not really the main focus. It's more so just the visual aesthetic of it. With this overlay, it looks really good because it's dark, and that's purple and pink. I like the way it looks personally. And then lastly, I finished off visualizer right around 4-ish seconds with some paper effects. You can see this took me all of, I don't know, now I'm so used to it in Photoshop. Basically, I opened it up, put on the paper textures from my paper texture pack, did this all in, I don't know, maybe 5 minutes right here, just took some pictures and slapped it on. Then I went back into Premiere, I imported that PSD, and then you can see how I lined up the clips. I have tutorials on stuff very similar to this, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and look at my channel. But basically the point I'm getting at in this video, just create something that looks unique. And to do that, I think sometimes assets are just the answer. Yes, you got to spend money and, you know, come out of pocket for this stuff. In the long run, it's going to save you a lot of time. It's going to level up your videos and have them, like when I posted this on my story, I think within probably 30 minutes, I had like 10 artists hitting me up for some Spotify canvases. So that gives you a good idea of, you know, this is an aesthetic that a lot of people are looking for. So keep that in mind. The point I was getting to is basically these assets, they are going to cost you money up front, but just think about if you charge someone 100, 200 bucks for one of these Spotify canvases, it's going to allow you to do that way faster. And within the first one, it's basically going to go ahead and pay off these assets that you're purchasing. It's going to pay off all the assets, and you're going to be able to take some profit off of it as well. And you're also just going to be able to do them way, way faster. Also, a lot of these assets, like the thermal pack, the paper texture pack, these film overlays, all that stuff is like stuff that isn't easy to replicate without the assets themselves. So like if you want that look, you almost have to go out and get that. With that being said, if you do want to go ahead and purchase anything off my website, I'll go ahead and give you a discount code, 10% off anything on the website. Go ahead and use the code CANVAS at checkout for 10% off. You'll be able to get all these assets on my website, the thermal pack, the CRT pack, paper texture pack, all the stuff that I used in this visualizer. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the Spotify canvas. I didn't really do too much or spend too much time on it. I really like the way it came out. I also added sapphire shake on this paper texture thing just to have it have a little bit more movement and fit the overall vibe. So then once you're done, all you have to do is just export it, and remember, it has to be an MP4. So if you go to File, Export Media, it's gonna pop up here. Just go to format H.264. I always do match source high bitrate, render at maximum depth, and then I would just drag the target bitrate all the way up to 50, and then just click export. And then you can go ahead and send that to the artist. They just have to go on the Spotify for Artists website and upload their canvas to their song. That's pretty much it. And then I just want to go ahead and show you what it would look like looping. This is not what you're going to want to do actually for exporting. You want to export that 3 to 8 second clip that you just made. You don't want to duplicate it over and over again because it's not going to work for Spotify for Artists. If we do go ahead and play it duplicated, this is what it would look like and sound like with the song.
I was saying, yeah, I'm finna be in the stew. So like just send me.
So you can see it just plays on loop throughout the whole video. Super fire. Like if I see this on a Spotify page, I'm so much more inclined to go check out the artist, go check out their Instagram, follow them, all that stuff. But yeah, if you made it all the way to the end, like always, I do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, do all that YouTube stuff. I've been upgrading my setup like crazy. I just want to reinvest in my YouTube channel, in my stream, all that stuff. I'm actually going to be streaming on YouTube from now on, not Twitch, every Friday, watching your music videos, reacting, giving feedback. All that stuff. We did it last Friday. It was super sick. A lot of people came through. Really, really talented people. But it was just a really good time. So go ahead and plan on coming to my stream next Friday. Turn on my post notifications so you get that alert. And I'll see you there. Submit your video and we could give it a little bit of a critique. Like I did say, if you wanted to snag any of the assets in this video, I'll have them all linked down below. 10% off my website with the code CANVAS at checkout. That's any of the products, the thermal pack, the CRT pack, the paper texture pack, all the ones I used in this video. It really does help support the channel. It helps me be able to reinvest. I got the new audio. I should sound pretty crispy. I got a new desk, all this different stuff. I upgraded stuff for my stream. So yeah, it really does help the channel, help support. You get some really cool assets in return. So I do appreciate it. Join the Discord. Always so many people in the Discord. Just editing and stuff is really cool to go in there, kick it, learn some stuff. I learned some stuff. They learned some stuff. So join the community. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much all I got for you guys in this one.
She say that she love me, how she be on my dick. Hope I never die.